Yay! Woo! Yes, fabulous. All right, cool. Hello. Okay, cool. So we're gonna have a go at making a music game in Unity, and this is kind of just a simple idea I had from chatting with a mate of mine, and just might be interested if anyone else would like to have a go at this kind of thing. Plus, it's just kind of fun for me to have to try and do it from scratch again. Yeah. All right. So first of all, we're using Unity. When we load up the Unity hub, this is where we start. So we're gonna do new project, 2-dimensional. I'm gonna call it so random note finder, random note game, FB live. Gonna create, and basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a staff, and we're going to be able to press a button and a note is going to show up on there, and it's going to be random, and then when we press, say, the key N for note, then the actual name of the note will appear above it. But basically it's like, cool, okay, so what's this note? And bam, here's a random note, bam, here's a random note, etc., etc. We're going to be doing it from low G, like the G below middle C, to probably top C. We're doing down to a low G because this conversation happened in Treble Clef, because a friend of mine teaches lots of violin stuff, and also 2 ledger lines would be the same for if we did bass clef low C. So if you're doing for cello, then that would be the same as well. So we might get on to doing bass clef, but at least we'll try and do it in treble clef as well. All right. So we're trying to wait for Unity to load. Unity can take a while when you're starting off to make a new project, just because there's so much back end. We're not necessarily going to be using all of it, but it needs to get ready to be created in. I don't remember it actually taking this long, but this is a Facebook Live, and that's what happens when you do things from scratch. Unity is free to download. It's free software for making video games. Like, so many games are made in it, and I just happen to be using it primarily for doing video game stuff. Just having a little note here. Cool. All right. Okay. What we see here is our sample scene. The scene is just going to be like the name of our starting place. So main game. In fact, treble clef, because we're going to be starting off with the treble clef scene. We notice we've got this kind of like blue in the background. That's actually going to be from the main camera's background. So that's actually where we change that to being white. Might just do a slightly off-white just for right now, just because it can get a bit grating. So we're just going to do this kind of like cream, but we can easily change that to not be that. Okay, so a couple of things for us to be aware of. This is what the actual game looks like, but this is the scene. So this is all of the objects. Notice there are no objects. There's nothing at all. Nothing has been created yet. But this game is what the camera sees, and it's really, really important to get the difference here. I'll show you what I mean. We're going to create a couple of assets. In fact, just preemptively, we're going to create a couple of things. So we're going to have a folder which is going to be called scripts. I'm going to have another folder which is going to be called sprites. And I think that's going to be everything that we need. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to kick off with is we're just going to make our stuff. And the way that I typically do this is by, yeah, that's fine. So we're going to be creating a bunch of, no, we're going to be going here. We're going to go create, and then we're going to make some sprites. And we're going to be making a square. And then we're going to, yeah, this is right. Just having a moment. Yeah, sorry, I'm just having a moment. That's really strange. Yeah, so we've got our square, and to kick off with, we're going to make this black. And we're going to make it really, really, really squished on our y-axis, 0.1. And we're going to make it really, really long on our x-axis. Okay. And this, my friends, Oh yeah, of course. And that is a line. So in the game, looks like that. Okay, cool. So we're going to be doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and quickly we're just going to organize this position on our y-axis because I can't do geometry today for some reason. 2, 4. Oh, this is really, really silly. So what we're going to do, first of all, what does this look like? Okay. Six by 9, 6 by 10. Yep. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom our camera out a little bit. I always get this messed up. I mean, that will do whatever it does, but let's just keep that as 10. Keep that as 10. It is... Why do I get this wrong every time? Size. That looks good. Okay, we'll keep it as 10 for right now. That's fine. Okay, so you, my friend, we're going to put this as position -4. On the y-axis, -4, -2, 0, 2, 4. Okay. Might want to zoom out a little more actually now I think about it. We will do that in camera. So instead of being 10, can I do 16? Okay, so that's going to be, so what we've now made here, and I knew I'd do this as soon as I started doing numbers. I'm just going to be a bit neurotic and just make sure these are absolutely correct. He says absolutely messing these up. So it's going to go from the bottom up. This doesn't actually make any difference, but staff line 1, staff line. Hello? Okay, let's do that again. Staff line 1, staff line 2, staff line 3, staff line 4, staff line 5. Okay, and we're going to create a staff object, which is just going to be the parent for everything. It just means that we can like collapse it quite easily. It's just useful for us to have here. We're also going to be creating 2 ledger lines on either side. So this is going to be staff ledger below 1, staff ledger line below 2, and these are going to be above, and it's going to be above 1 and above 2. So that means that if this was, oh my goodness, okay, cool, 2 seconds, I've just got to do a little bit of adjustment. Basically, when I put created the parent stuff, that seemed to have messed up my beautifully precise dimensions. So I just got to do that again. But that's fine, because this is actually pretty good. So the point being is that the lowest actual ledger line is at -4. -4, then above that is going to be -2. I'm also going to rechange all of these z's to definitely be at 0. This is a faff, but who cares? It's good to see. And it's good for my kind of like learning, that because I'm sure in the future I will know a much better way of doing this. But right now I do not. 6 and 8. And similarly, this is going to be -6. And this is going to be -8. Because what we're doing is we're just making all the lines have 2 units between each of them. We're going to take, first of all of these things and make sure they're all on Z0. That's fabulous. So then the only thing which is different between them is the Y. But then we're going to shrink down these ledger lines so that they are, best way to do that, just do that. Yeah. So those are going to be our ledger lines. Let's actually just put that as 5. For right now, we're probably going to adjust that, but not for right now. That's totally fine. And those will be shown or hidden depending on what we need to see, which is great. Okay, so a couple of things then. We're actually going to take a couple of images, which I've got. So specifically, we're going to use a treble clef that I found. So here is a treble clef, because we're just not going to make that. Yeah, here we go. Sweet. So a couple of key things for anyone who hasn't used Unity before. Yeah, so this here, this see, this is the scene view. And this is actually everything that exists in our game. The game view is what the player will see, and the player sees through a camera. In fact, when we click on a camera, it actually gives us the camera preview, which I always forget. So this gray box is the camera. Notice that if we move our camera, then that's just showing what, I mean, that's changing what we can see. So for example, I might want to have it look more like this. For right now, I don't, but it's still nice to be aware of that is just how we do it. Just going to move this a little along to that. So yeah, just kind of a rough idea of that. So now we've done that, what we're going to do is then just start making notes. And oh, how do we do this? Let's just stick with it. That's fine. Okay. And then we're going to do some like scripting and stuff like that later on. But for right now, let's just kind of create this on the fly. For our note, I actually just also, oh no, they're rubbish. I remember this. So I found some notes, but I thought they were terrible. So I'm not going to use them. So again, we're going to go to our sprites. We're just going to create a circle. Circle. Boop. Okay. So that's our circle. It's should be there. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's there. Huh. Whatever. All right. So we're going to make this larger. I don't know the way that we, oh no, I do know the way we scale from this, but we have to do it click and dragging. We're going to use the scale tool up here. I'm going to click on this box. No, I'm being really, really stupid. It's like that. And that's the way it is. If we do, in fact, 2.5. 2.5 seems like a good number. I just like, once we've sorted out roughly what it's going to be, I like to actually kind of just round it to something useful. If we're, no, wrong one, sorry. I'm going to mess up my X and my Y a billion times today. So yeah, this isn't the right size. So we actually need it to be smaller, because when we're in this position, we need for it to be exact. Right, so let's just sort that out. What's it like if it's around 2? Yeah, let's just go for 2. Let's just go straight for 2. That's fine. So now if we're at y equals 0, yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So that's fabulous. We're not going to bother with a stem for right now, but we might do in future. But that would then, we'd show or hide that depending on if we're above or below B. We actually haven't ever tried doing that before. Shall we do it? We'll do it later, but that could be something interesting to do. All right, so let's go and add some scripting. So this circle is our note head. And shall we start doing stuff then? Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, I'm just going to quickly check some things here. Yeah, there we go. I'm also just going to share this video just in case anyone's interested, because I think there's some stuff that, because now we're actually getting started with actual useful things. Someone might be interested in this. Don't know. Don't know. That's really funny. Oh, it's here. Remarkably difficult to actually find share. Oh, we're just going to keep going. We're just going to ignore like people. That's fine. Okay, so Oh, okay. In fact, no. Before we do that, the last thing we're going to do is make a text. Yeah, that's fine. So just above it, we're going to create... Oh, yeah, this is fine. So we're going to create our text, which means that we need to import various different Text Mesh Pro essentials so that we can use it. Text Mesh Pro is basically the de facto text thing for our project. Okay, so now we have to get used to canvases and this. I mean, every single time, I swear I changed this. Yeah, and yeah, that's fine. We'll just stick with this. Okay, so we're going to first of all change this color to black. There we go. Fabulous. Text is weird because text appears in a canvas, which is designed to be... I don't really get it, I'm not going to lie. But it's essentially a separate thing which is then put in front of the camera lens. And thus stuff like scale gets really, really strange. But for all we have to be aware of right now is that we've got this massive canvas. It's here, like in this massive box. The actual game itself is down here. But if we look at what the camera can see, it's got that text and it's got this here. So we're just going to call this note value. And this is going to be called note value. Yeah, because what's going to happen is that depending on the y-axis, apparently I've managed to put another... Oh, yeah, for sure, that's fine. Hang on, I've just got to do a quick bit of resizing. I can do it without doing that. That's fine. There we go, thank you. Sorry, again, I'm just kind of getting slightly lost in basic things. And then we're going to put that centered. There are many better ways I should have done that, but that's the way I'm going to do it. So this, where it says note value, that's going to show us the y-axis, the note depending on the y coordinate of our node head. But we just want that to exist before we can go on with it. So we're going to do our only script. Let's just do this. So note head manager. Okay, so this is how we create scripts, and this is going to be me writing C# in a live context. So let's go for it. Quickly, actually, just to be very organized, we're going to immediately, having created it, close it, and then move this into the scripts folder because it's just good housekeeping. All right, so the first step is that we make sure that Visual Code is good for Unity, and it does not appear that it is. So this is an interesting issue. Let me just check something. Oh no, it's fine. We're fine. Okay, I actually didn't think we'd be fine, but that's by the way. Okay, so this is how scripting works in Unity. For the majority of what we're going to do... Just trying to think. No, we don't even need to do this in the update. Okay, cool. So, let's write out what's actually going to be happening here. So, we are going to have onload and when we press spacebar. Just super quickly, when we press N, we show hide the note display. So the bit at the top will be shown or hidden. All right, I just had to remind myself of that. So onload and when we press spacebar. So we do. So pick a random position for the note. This can be between, so let's count. So G below up to C. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 notes. Let's do 19 to have that's to the D above them, that ledger line, between G, oh gosh, I'm going to get this wrong. I think it's G2 and D5. So this is going to be where middle C equals C3, just in case anyone doesn't know. This is kind of like a way that we can put this. So C3 is middle C, so it goes, so if we start on middle C, that's C3, then below that is B3, below that is A3, below that is G2. Of course, we got it right. C, so yeah, cool, we are absolutely correct. So those are the things, which I believe is, this is 19 different possible notes. Okay, cool. Each of those, yeah, so we then move the note head to that Y axis, Y position. So this is going to be between, and I'm literally going to load up Excel because I am not going to do this in my mind. Okay, so if we had D, C, B, A, G, so this is going to be 5, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, this is 4, G, going to be 3, and this is going to be the last note that we want. All right, cool. We're not going to bother with that. In fact, yeah, so note calculations. Okie dokie, so these are the notes. If we know, I'm just literally going to work out these Y coordinates. Okay, so if we know that the B in the middle is 0. Yes, that's right. So the B is 0. So that is B4 is 0. -1, -2. Excel, do me well. Fabulous. So that goes all the way down to -9. And if we click and drag up there, it goes all the way up to 9. Okay, that's actually like super, super elegant. That's lovely, actually. Okay, so this can go. So goes between so -19 x 19 9, sorry, not 19. Okie dokes, to that Y position. We then calculate the note name and update the note display. And we'll just be consistent with our camel casing. And I believe that's actually it. So let's just write a thing. We actually don't need update, which is quite nice. We will need start. Start. Anything which we write in here will happen at the very beginning. So we're going to put a little note to ourselves going, we have started. So that'll show up in the sort of like in the console. Okie dokie. So we're going to go private void random note. Okie dokie. So what we're actually going to put here is a couple of our variables just because we can. So we're going to go, in fact, I'm going to do everything as public, which means that we can see it and access it from other things. If you're working on larger projects, you'll probably want to do this as private, or at least there are other times, but there are other cases where you don't do this as public. But for right now, we're going to do everything as public. We're going to do public float, and this is going to be called lowest Y value. And we're going to do to the highest Y value. Basically, we're just trying to avoid having any particularly hard-coded things. However, we are going to set those. So a float, just so you know, a float is a number which has got a decimal place. We could actually do these as ints. Let's just do these as integers. Not entirely. Yeah, I don't think this is picking up properly from Unity, but I think we're going to do some quick reloading here. Anyway, so the point being is that lowest Y value is -9 and highest, yeah, it's not picking up. There we go. Equals 9. Very quickly, I'm just going to try and see if I can fix this. There's this one really weird solution. Basically, some things should be auto-filling, which aren't, and it's a real faff. So we're just going to quickly go to Preferences, going to go to our external tools, going to regenerate everything, and then we're going to click it off, and we're going to regenerate again. And basically, through having to tell Unity to make some stuff and then to unmake some stuff, it seems to be happy with making some links, which is really funny. Let's find out if that's worked. Basically, something should show up in the bottom left, which hadn't showed up. These are all here. That's a good thing. It's not that. There we go. Here we go. So now everything will be much better for us. So public int. Yeah, there we go. So we now actually have a lot more of the autocompletes. It's really silly that works, but it's a nice little fix. Notice, incidentally, because now we've set the public integers and we've said that there's going to be one called lowest and the one called highest. When we actually go into our main editor, we now can see that those are values. So in fact, we're just going to remove these from here, and we're just going to type them in here because they're going to be -9 and +9. -9 and 9. Okie dokie. So what we're going to be doing then is, first step is pick a random number between and including our low and high y values. And so we're going to actually make another int, and it's going to be public int, and it's going to be called y-axis of notehead. Yeah. Semicolon. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to be doing some side Googling here. So y-axis equals random. Can we do random with just integers? Let me just find this out. So, because I don't know C# very well, so random integer. How do I generate a random int? Okie dokies. Hey, sweetie, just doing a Facebook Live. That's all right. Just going to find out if this works. Random.next. No, okay, that's fine. So we're going to do random rnd equals new random. rnd.next. Okay, that does not exist. So that's the first option out of the way. I think this will just work, actually. I think I was actually right in terms of the first thing I was going to do. Hang on. Random.range. Because this is saying they need to be floats. We're going to find that out shortly. I think they might have to be floats, but that's fine. Okay, cool. That's great. Oh, sorry, in fact. Yeah, so we've got a thing which will trigger there, but what we're going to do is... Oh, we do... Sorry, I'm being really silly. We are going to have to create an update thing, and on keep if key input dot key get key down equals space, do the thing. Okay, so I've just done a whole bunch of stuff which I haven't explained. So let me just like take a step back. In Unity, the way that we have like scripts is that we have a couple of like key set kind of protocols, I guess, to follow. And the two like most important ones are start and update. Start runs as soon as the game, as soon as that scene, like, you know, that level actually begins. So that's where we put it, we've started. Update runs every single frame of the game. And typically the way that like movement will work is that every single frame, the game goes, have you pressed left? Oh, if you have, then let's go to left. Or if you've pressed space, then you might want to jump or anything like that. For us, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be checking if we've pressed the space bar. So if, and then if the thing that we're looking for, and if it's true, if that we've, you know, if it does get the space bar, then it does random note. And random note is the thing that we're writing here. Yeah, and in fact, all we're going to do just to test that this even works is we're just going to debug, and we're just going to have it print off y-axis of the note head and plus, and then the thing that we just created from our random range. So every single time we hit spacebar, it should hit that bit. Just out of interest, again, because I haven't really explained, anything which has got these two slashes is a comment, so that means that it won't actually happen. It's just for humans to be able to read. So that's why none of this would actually be read by the computer. This is all just for me. So I'm going to save, go back to here. Okay. Okay, so let's just minimize this so that we can see. And I'm just going to create, I should know this by now. Console, Control Shift G. Okay. Okay, going to put it in the bottom corner. Okay, I'm going to clear this. All right, and we're going to hit play. Oh, fabulous, cool, and this has worked just fine. Okay, so what's going on is every time I'm hitting a spacebar, a new whole number has been set for those things, and that's great. So what we're now going to do, and this is the thing which can go wrong, so bear with me 2 seconds while I try and work this out. Is that what we're going to actually assign this value to be the y-axis of this note head. So first of all, we have to actually make the object, you know, we have to actually access that from our script. So we do public game object. So we are saying there's going to be a variable which you can assign from Unity, which is essentially what public means. Not quite, but for the sake of right now, that's what it means. And it's going to be a game object, and it's going to be called, for the sake of our script, notehead. It doesn't have to be called that, but for right now it is. In fact, we'll do that locus. So if you notice now, we go back into Unity, everything's cool, and now our script is looking for something called notehead. Just to kind of show that a little bit easier as well, if I went notehead for Unity, and we go back here, this now goes notehead for Unity. Okay, so that's kind of the relation there. Notice that I've had to do this camel case thing, so no spaces, but we do have capital letters for each of them, and that's then interpreted by Unity as correctly, essentially. But we're going to call it notehead, and it's going to go there. And we're going to then just go here, and we're just going to say we're looking for notehead. So this object here, this object which is called notehead, we have just assigned that. So when our script is talking about notehead, it's actually talking about this object, and that's like a really, really important deal. So we have set that, and I think that's everything we have to do. Oh, we're also going to set Okay, just while we're assigning stuff, we're also going to be assigning a way to change that text at the top to tell us what note we're talking about. We have to do a quick thing where we actually have to import some other clever things. The text is called Text Mesh Pro, and we have to tell the script that we want to do extra things with Text Mesh Pro, and we can't do that until we say using Text Mesh Pro. We have to import the Text Mesh Pro library. I don't know why I did that, but it's just nice to have that clarity. Sorry. Anyway, so we're just going to go here, and what we're going to be doing is public. Again, we're creating a new thing, and that thing is going to be Text Mesh Pro UGUI, and that's going to be called the note display. Okay. And again, if we go here, we will eventually see underneath note head, it will say note display. It's looking for a Text Mesh Pro, and the only one of those that exists is the thing note value, which says that. That means that we're going to be able to change that from this script, from this note head manager. That's going to be for here though. Right, back to business. We have now got our note. We've got the y-axis that we want our note to be. And then we've got ourselves the... Yeah, and what we're trying to do now is actually, we've got our y-axis, so we're now going to change that. So bear with me 2 seconds. This might take a short while for me to just get right. So it's going to be notehead dot transform dot position equals. I just want to get this right, and then I'll just explain, and I know that's really, really stupid. Oh, it has to be a float. Oh, that's funny. Okay. I think this might just work. I'm just going to test it. It might kick off for completely reasonable reasons. We're okay. Yes, works. Okay, cool. Now that I know that it works, I'll explain what actually happened. That's really cool. Right. The way that this has worked is the fact that we are saying the note head position, which is part of the transform element. So at the beginning, I was adjusting all like the staff lines and stuff like that, you know, putting them all at like y equals 4, y equals 2, y equals 0. This is all in the transform. So for example, here we would access this by going like staff line 2, transform position. What we've actually done is go to note head, transform position. So note head, transform position equals, and this gets a bit strange. The position, we actually have to give it all 3 values. I might be wrong though. I think I can't set this though. I just want to try, because you would immediately think, why can't I just do, just set this to be y? And I'm pretty sure this is only this is only to be read rather than edited. I think that's the problem we run into. Yeah, you can't modify the y-axis. You can read it, so you can tell what it is, but still. So as weird as this feels, to actually change our position, we need to make a new x, y, z thing, and the way that Unity reads that is if it's set as something called vector3, and we have to put new because we have to create a new vector3 which didn't exist before. A new vector3 which happens to have these values. So because we're not, well, the x-axis is 0, the y-axis is what it is now, and the z-axis is still going to be 0. Luckily, because we're writing it so that our x and our z axes are 0, this stuff doesn't matter. Otherwise, we'd have to do some other kind of cleverish things, but it's not really that much of a problem. So point being, this now works. And one thing I realized as soon as I did it is that I didn't run this at the very beginning. So when it begins, it's going to give us a random note. Bam. So game goes, and we immediately have a random note. Chomp, 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 chomp. Couple of things here we need to add, like on our to-do list. Show, hide ledger lines, and add stem to note head. Shown, so upper stem when below, when x is less than or equal to 0. Upper lower stem when x is, no, then y for all of these, then y is greater than 0. And it should be y. Okie dokie, so that's cool. And yeah, so we also have to make a dictionary of values for the note display, which I actually don't know how to do, so we're going to be reading that up. Anyway, point being, if we go to our main kind of thing, we have done this. It can be between those things. It can be between that. We then move that. We then calculate the note head and update the note display. So that is the thing we have not yet done. So we're going to actually be looking this up, and then we're going to have to do some typing. So C# dictionary. Because what's going to happen is that we're going to be making a dictionary. A dictionary is something which has got a key and then a value. And you have like 1 bananas, 2 apples, 3 oranges, and it's like 1, then it goes to bananas and etc. like that. And for us, we're going to be doing our best to do this for the first time. Oh, that's so awful. There's so many awful ways I want to do this. You know what? We're actually going to be terrible people, and we're going to do this as a switch statement. Because I am tired, and I know how to do switch statements, and I will. Yep. All right. A switch statement. This is so dumb, by the way. But there is actually some reason that it might have some merit. Okay, so a switch statement is when you have a bunch of options, and then it picks which one it is based on that. So the reason that this is okay is that these are all of our values, but notice the fact that we have like D, D, and D. So what we're actually going to do is, I'm just going to do this super quickly, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So it can be A's if A's for -8, for -1, and for 6. And if I was aware of what I was doing, then this would be the way to do it. That will no longer exist. So there are only 2 G's. Oh, and -9. Okay. So there are only 2 F's. 1 F, 2 F. Great. So these are all of the case. So it'll be A when that y-axis is one of these 3 things. So in fact, this isn't actually, this switch statement isn't the worst thing to do. I just would rather do a dictionary. I just got to check if I can do case or. No. This is just my C# knowledge. Switch or. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's actually it'll look hilarious, but it's actually not too bad. All right, so we're going to do this in alphabetical order. So we're going to go case -8, case -1, case 6, and then we're going to go note display dot text equals a break. So what this is saying is that if our y-axis is -8, -1, or 6, then it's going to give us the note a. That is not the worst thing I've done today. Beat. Yeah, this is all fine. Case -6, 1, 8. There's probably some clever things I could do about simplifying what these numbers actually are, but I'm not going to care. This is a hilarious statement, though. This does look insane. To me, anyway. I'm sure other people will just go like, no, this is totally fine. It's like, really? So, -5, 2, 9. No, it's going to be D. -4, 3. There is no other thing. For when we have to do this in Treble Clef, though, it'd be a different bunch of notes, obviously. So we would have to do this again. That would be the note E. Yeah. -3, and this is 4. There's no F. And then finally, got 3 cases for G. Okay, and that's going to be -2, 5, and -9, apparently. And that's going to be a G. Default will be log problem. In fact, I'm also going to put note display dot text equals problem. Okay. Jesus. All right, so that's what we have. So this then sets the note display text based on the y-axis value. Y-axis of notehead. Okie dokes, I think this will work. So again, we're just going to test it. Absolutely, first time. Isn't that nice? Oh, and in fact, no, we'd need to do it differently. That's fine. I was just thinking about if we actually played audio. We're not going to do it for this particular thing, but still. Did this as switch statement. Obviously, this literally breaks the second we decide to move our things, because this is entirely based on just our y-axis values. So there are definitely better ways to do this. In fact, you could probably do it like just based on, you'd say your distance, and then you'd say what is like A, and then you just go up or down the alphabet through that. But this is just a way we've done it. Okie dokies. So what we're going to do. Yeah, okay, cool. Hilariously, one of the things which is now bothering me is these ledger lines. So we're actually going to go through and add a ledger line script. So what we're going to do is add a ledger line script to all of these. No, we actually need, that's really annoying. We need 2 different ledger line scripts. All right, so that's fine. We'll just do it. So ledger line below. Just going to move the script. Okay, and We can do this on the update. Okay. So, okay, so we need, yeah. Okay, so for these ledger lines below, we do need to have a public game object, which is going to be the note head. And we need a public float of value to show value of note head to show. That's a terrible value of note head to for this to be shown. Oh my gosh. We'll stick with that, but just because I'm being ridiculous with the names, then that's what it is. All right, so let's go. Okay, so if notehead dot transform dot y, doesn't that work? Dot location. Position dot y. Okay, so if it is, if it's greater than value of notehead for this to be shown. So if it's greater, then we hide it. Hide this. Else, show this. Yep, okay, so 2 seconds. This is another one where I'm gonna mess this up. Sort. Because it's, you basically just can just disable the sprite renderer. This dot so this is a bit of a strange one. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to do this, but I know this one. Dot enabled equals false. Hide this. True. So, just to explain what's going on here, we're going to assign a note head, we're going to assign a value. We're actually going to type that in. And then, oh, no, I don't need to, because it's just the value of where we are right now. So, game object dot transform. Yeah, of course, sorry, of course I don't have to do this. Dot position dot y. So if the note head's value is higher than the game object's position, then hide it, otherwise show it. And yeah, in fact I don't have to do that. Yeah, that's literally the statement. You know what? Just for the sake of having one script, we're gonna do public bool above there's gonna be a question. Oh, is this above the stuff? Stave. Okay, so oh, you could do some really, really clever stuff, but I'm not clever, so that's not going to work. Case where this is making things more complicated than they need to, but I do think it's worth it. So basically, we're making one script which will work for both below and above, and but we're just going to set a little flag to say if it's above or if it's below, because the difference is that these things will be shown when it's above them, but these things will be shown when it's below them or equal to. So it's yeah, they're just two different conditions. Okay. Okay, and then we're just going to do this. Yeah, we're just going to do this. Okay, so this is the version for if it's above, and this is the version for if it's below. So if above the stave. I'm sure I'm wrong on if I'm using staff or stave, and I really should know that. If below. And it's better to just have one script which covers both, and it just might be a little more confusing. I'm sure there's a more clever way of doing this. I just can't think of it right now. All right, so if it's above, just tidying some stuff up. Okay, if it's above the stave, then if the note head and yeah, there's clearly a better way to have done this, but still. So checks to see if... Oh, in fact, I don't even have to assign it. I can just say. Oh, I'm so silly. Right, so if position is greater than 0, because then it'll be above the staff. Yeah, and we don't have to set any public booleans. Okay, so checks to see if this object is above or below the stave. So positive for above, negative for below. Okay, so if the ledger line, if its y-axis is positive, then that means it's above. And then if the notes values are the same or higher, then they're going to be shown. Otherwise, they're going to be hidden. Yep, that's absolutely correct. All right, so I'm pretty sure this is going to work. So let's go find out. Yeah, and I haven't assigned that it's looking for that note, and that's fine. All right. Oh, yeah, and I haven't said that all of them are going to have the same. So it's just going to be called... oh, I hate renaming scripts. There's probably a good way to do this, but you actually have to do a whole bunch of things. Ledger line manager, and then we actually have to change it in the script as well. Oh, and then it will say that doesn't exist because I've renamed it. Ugh. Yeah, you see how it's recreated that because I started making some changes. Oh, that's really dumb. Yeah, that's fine. But that's fine. Ledger line manager. Okay, it's actually called ledger line manager because now we're going to put this ledger line manager onto all of these. Just going to go check. Oh, and some of them already had it, and that's fine. Yeah, the ones below because I jumped ahead. Okay, ledger line, and now they all need the note heads. Yep. And none of them have done it. Okie dokies, let's work out why. So. Oh, because the scripts had to show everything regardless of what was going on. That's great. That's lovely. Let's do that again. But this means that, and first of all, it works. Yes. Cool. That means that we only have one script which changes all of the ledger lines, and that's pretty great. So that's the actual point there. All right, we're getting close to being done. Oh, yeah. Yep. So we've done all of that, which is awesome. When we press N, we should show or hide the note display. Good. Okay, so if input.get key down and show or show hide display. Note display, we'll just do it. Note display dot oh yeah, it's always with this one. Hang on. Note display dot and then it's like a depreciated thing, is it? Yeah, this doesn't work, and I always really wanted to. Oh, damn it. What's the way that we do this? I mean, for example, if we just do that. Oh. We'll just do it like this. So if it's enabled, then make it disabled, else note display dot enabled equals true. Okay. Because that's the thing, because once we've actually set up these connections, so the fact the note display is showing that note display, then it's just a case of like just playing around with it basically. So now, yep, and then shows or hide that. Bam. Okie dokies, that's the next thing done. All right, let's keep going. So show or hide ledger lines. Yep, that was a big one. That's done. Sorry. Oh, add the stems. Okay, let's do this because I've always chickened out of doing it and I really should do it. Add audio question mark. Might do. We're coming up. We've done this for an hour now, actually. Okay, the last thing we'll do. We're not going to add audio this time, but we will just do. Yeah, we'll add. This isn't actually like that big a deal. So let's do this. So we're going to go sprites. We're going to go here. We're going to create another square. We're going to go onto the note head. And this is going to be called upper stem. I'm going to create that, and it's going to call lower stem. I'm going to make both of these black. I'm going to do the upper stem. So the two no. Okay, that's good. What, one? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, great. So that's going to be the upper stem, and that looks pretty good, and it's numerically quite lovely. 0.1 and then 2. And then this will be, yep. I think I can do some other clever things, but I'm, oh yeah, sorry. I need to do literally the opposite of what I've just done. Man. There we go. Yay, fabulous. All right, cool. And so just very quickly, I think this just works. Yes! Okay, fantastic. And then we just have to do on the Notehead Manager. Yeah, I mean, we'll just do it as the notehead manager. So then here, show, hide, correct, stem. I'm misusing terminology here, there, and everywhere, but who cares? Okay, so we need to assign those two things. So we're just going to make new game object. So public game objects, upper stem, public game object, lower stem. Bam. All right, so we go to here. Fine. So first of all, we're just going to assign these because we can. So we click on our notehead. We go to our upper stem, click and drag that into it. Lower stem, click and drag that into it. All right, so we're now going to go do our hiding based on our y-axis. So let's just decide this. So we're going to have it being, why can I not think of this? If game object, so game object is always the thing we're talking about, and then the thing that this is attached to, so it's the notehead. If this is, sorry, I'm just getting sidetracked by some things. If game object dot transform dot position dot y is greater or equal to 0, then we're gonna show the upper stem, hide the lower stem. Else, hide the upper stem, show the lower stem. All right, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna go. So it's upper stem dot I don't think I can do this. It's this. There we go. Fabulous. This is actually what I was talking about, thinking of earlier, but couldn't remember. So, and this is going to be lower stem equals set, dot set active as false. And then this will be exactly the opposite. Okay, bam. Oh, have I got it the wrong way around? Yeah, I have. I'm such a silly. Right. Okay, cool. Honestly. I knew I'd get it the wrong way around. I think those tails need to be longer. Anyway, point being, I mean, like, they work. We'll just stick with it for right now. That's fine. Yeah, that was actually way easier than I expected, so that's nice to know. Do we want to set the audio? No, we're not. We're not going to set the audio for right now. In fact, yeah, I think we're going to finish this, but what we're going to do, just to kind of show how you then put this kind of thing online. That's just, yeah, okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually build it. So we're going to do this using Webgl. Webgl is what kind of works for HTML files. Sorry, is what allows you to run things in browser. This might actually take quite a while, so it probably won't. Well, no, it's got to do quite a lot of things in the background. So when we upload stuff to stuff like itch.io, then we have to render it as Webgl, which means that the entire project has to be kind of like reconfigured for that. But that'll be fine. This isn't the biggest project in the world, so hopefully this won't take much time. It's really funny when you read through all the things that it's importing. It's like, we don't use any of this, but it has to make sure that everything's there. And I'd rather it took its time and got it everything. Can this just work? Yeah, amazing. All right, so what we do is we go and we add the open scenes. So this is the only thing we're going to do. And we're just going to go build. And we're going to go, and it's got to be, so this is going to be random note game, and it's going to be Webgl. There might be some issues with scaling, but we'll find out when we do it. Because I haven't checked anything, especially when the canvas gets involved. I mean, to be honest, I'm seeing the game view, and it's looking pretty good. We'll find out relatively shortly if it's actually going to be okay there. It's nice how, so I made one of these kind of note-head games a while ago called, why did I say called? I knew I couldn't remember. Called Manuscript, which is on my itch page. And it was amazing how much I learned from doing that. And then it's really, really been fun to just put that together again, possibly even like a more robust version of it in the best part of it, well, just over an hour. It is crazy how quickly you just kind of learn this stuff having done it a while. Yeah, so basically what's happening right now is that we're rendering the version, which we're then going to zip up, and we then upload that zip file to itch, and that then plays in the browser. I really, really want to do this kind of stuff for iPad. Specifically, but I actually need an iOS. I actually need a Mac, and so I'm gonna be hopefully purchasing a Mac Mini, just literally so that I can do this kind of rendering. But yeah, so I can't see it. Basically, if there is anyone watching this, I have yet to see. Facebook has not told me that anyone has been here, so do let me know if this is. Well, I mean, right now we're just waiting because we're just going to finish this off by just going and uploading this to itch so that it can be played, pending a couple of issues. Again, the main issues are going to be stuff to do with scaling, because I do not understand how Canvas works. Canvas being the thing which text is displayed through. But that's by the by. But yeah, so kind of things that I do to follow up on this kind of project is obviously to sort out treble clef and bass clef. It would be nice to do bass clef, but it's pretty much exactly the same. The only thing we would do is to update that. Literally, yeah, in fact, sorry, you only do two things. You just change the actual image of the clef, so it's a treble clef, it's a bass clef instead of a treble clef, and then you would just change that monstrous switch statement to tell you which notes were going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, and even that's not going to be too difficult. Oh gosh, if I was really on it, then you could just say that it would just be that value. Let's think. I'm just going to explode in a pile of math. But is C really 1? Oh yeah. Okay, because middle C is 1. Yeah, you just kind of transpose everything up by a certain amount, because for this one we had B. Oh yeah, that's the way it works. So for treble clef you had B, so that means that for bass clef you'd have D. So if you added 2 to all of these values, then did a couple of adjustments around this kind of lower end, yeah, then that would work. Yeah, and then basically this is just a mod 10 wheel, isn't it? Because the 8 would go up to the top, and that would then come out the bottom as being minus 9. No, it is minus 8. Yeah, it'd be minus 8. Anyway, that's just some other speculation there. Anyway, I think we're just compiling our WebAssembly module. Yeah, so this is normally where you just go off and have a bit of a walk and think about what you just what you've just done, basically. But yeah, so this has been a bit of a tutorial on how I'm currently making things in Unity, and I think it's such a useful tool for just making stuff which can be just easily used and is easily interactable. Like, I've always been interested in making things that people can actually do stuff with. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Okay, cool. So just to show you what happens then, so we get this random note game underscore Webgl. We then, I'm not even going to check it, to be honest with you. We're just going to have a little go, and we're just going to go compressed random note game at Webgl, and I'm just going to log into my itch account over here, and we're just going to upload that. So, oh, and we're just going to quickly take like a shot. We'll take a better shot than that because that looks terrible. Because we need some kind of cover up. What was this called? Random node game underscore FB live. All right. So let's do this. Okay, so now we are at itch, well, jacksaw.itch.io, and we're going to go to upload new project. We're going to go, cool, we've got it here. That's great. We're just going to quickly, before we even go ahead, just going to upload the file. Random note game, Webgl. Oh, that's really funny. Okay, cool. Random note game again. Wait. Kadoki's optional cover art. Cover art is never optional. It's always a good idea to do. Hopefully that'll just work. Cool. All right. Is educational things? I can't see it, but I think it really should be. All right. HTML thing. Uploads. That's 9 pictures. Okay, and we go to here. Oh yeah, whoops. Sorry, I was clicking and dragging from the thing, from the actual like Explorer window. That it given me. Embed page. Yeah, that's fine. And auto detect the size. Don't automatically start. Full screen button. Fine. Yeah, cool. So random note game covers random covers notes of treble, clef, press, space. In fact, let's just do this. So controls. Space generates random note and show hide note display. Made work in progress. Made as an hour long, made during an hour long Facebook live session. Genre educational? Hey, educational is a thing. Let's do that. Yeah, and then we're good. We're good. Just go. So we're gonna go save and view. Can this just work? This would be so lovely if it just worked. Yay! Woo! Yes, fabulous. All right, cool, cool, cool. And there we go. And it's still in this horrible, slightly off white, but that's fine because that's what we wanted. Okie dokie. So now we go and we go back to it. Edit game, because we check that it actually does work. And then we go to public and we go save. Bam. View page. And it exists. Cool. And that is something which did not exist. Oh, sorry. That is something that did not exist an hour and a half ago. And that's really, really nice when you actually create something and then it's just up there ready for anyone to play. Yeah, obviously this is just a kind of whistle stop thing, but I thought it would be interesting to do, and let me know if this is the kind of thing you might be interested about in the future. Anyway, my name is Richard Jackson. Have yourself a lovely, lovely day. Take care of yourself. Bye.